How you guys doing? It's Seb here. Welcome back to another episode of PES 2019 myClub and myClub tips and tutorials. In this episode, we're going to talk about defending, tide marking, and mine marking with the collaboration of the legend TheMidNiteKid. Now, as you guys know, I've been doing tutorials for years and years, and most of my tutorials get people to win Division 1 or get a champion badge on PES 2019. And personally, I believe the best way to make tutorials is to make the tutorial against humans online. And that's why every year when I start streaming, I run the Pesology series on the live stream where I play 300 to 400 games. Yes, every time I mention that, my Twitch viewers get triggered. Yeah, that's right. Every year I play about 300 to 400 games on ranking, like against humans 1v1 divisions ranking on my club to test things out. Whatever we learn from that, I make tutorials for you guys. So in this episode, I want to talk about, this is kind of mixed between defending and man marking and a tide marking. The reason why I wanted to collaborate with the TheMidNiteKid for defending, because even though I know what to do in terms of defending, I just don't have the patience for it this year. I don't know. So long story short, I suck at defending this year because I rush a lot. I don't like watching my opponent, wiggling his ass, going left and right. I just press and press and press. I like to win the ball in the middle of the pitch so I can counter quicker. I don't like playing deep. I don't like waiting for my opponent. Basically, I don't have the patience. And that's not the best way to defend. And for that reason, I leave it with the TheMidNiteKid. He's going to give you a little bit of a clip explaining certain things, even though he's using co-op as an example, which I believe is the best way, because when you play co-op, it's you as an individual. Like if you were playing real life football, how your mind works, how you're thinking, and your thinking and your vision, that's the best way to defend. It's the same thing in 1v1. So, at the end of this video, I will show you the clip of TheMidNiteKid explaining defending a little bit. But what I want to talk about, guys, is tide marking and man marking. Now, we all know you have an option to tide mark with advanced instructions or just man mark manually. And yeah, there's a difference between them. For me, at the beginning, with Data Pack 3, Data Pack 2, tide marking was so effective. It is still effective. And you can see right here, it explains the difference between tide marking and man marking as well. Obviously, when you tide mark a player, if he switches that player, the tide marker will go off. But if you man mark a player, if I'm man marking Cristiano as a striker and he moves Cristiano as a midfielder, then I'm fucked because my defender would gonna go all the way to the midfield. So pay attention to man marking and tide marking. And in the meantime, one thing you need to pay attention to, whether it's halftime or in the middle of a game, you want to pause the game and look at this view. You just tap R2 twice, it will take you to this view. For the first example, you can see my opponent is playing 64% on the right. So that will be my left. So I need to pay attention, okay? I need to pay attention. First of all, I can use defense on that particular fullback, on my left back, because he's spamming on the right side, that's my left side. So I can use advanced instructions defense on that left back, or I can just man mark his winger. Because you need to pay attention, is he spamming a winger on that side? Is he just playing with the midfielder with that side? You gotta pay attention, so that is really important. And the same example here again, my opponent's playing 55% on the left, that's my right. Usually what I do, I probably use defense advanced instructions on that fullback and probably man mark him manually as well. I don't like tide marking players on the flank. I usually tide mark players in the middle. Especially if I'm playing against Santos, definitely I man mark his AMF. That guy, against Santos is very crucial because you have AMF and two strikers, 1-2 pass and go, and then boom, LMF comes in, boom, RMF comes in. It's kind of hard to defend against Santos. That's why it's pretty effective this year. The formation on my club is pretty effective, 4-1-3-2. Or a diamond formation, but usually if it's a natural diamond with CMFs on the side instead of LMF and RMF, diamond formations usually are so much focused down the middle. It depends how good the guy is. Usually I just throw him the box or, play with patience, and every time I win the ball back, I try to loft the pass to the flank and play a bit wider. I don't want to go down the middle against a diamond. You're just running into a trap to be countered. But that's one of the things regarding man marking and tide marking. Now, as always, guys, usually my tutorials, I go into much in-depth details and example. But it's a little bit late of the season, but there's still some of you guys play. We still go 4 months for PES 2020. So that's my bit regarding man marking and tide marking. And share your opinion, what you think. It's not all about what I think. That's, in my opinion, what I do. And if you see most of you guys on live stream, it works perfectly well. So comment down below and let me think the difference between tight marking and man marking. You know, most of the time I tight mark a striker, especially against if I'm playing against two strikers, while man marking the player on the flank, etc. You know, most of the time I man mark my opposition's midfield with my LMF and RMF if he's focused too much to play down the middle. I mean, ideally, if you win the midfield battle, you win the game, but most people just bypass your midfield by one pass to the striker and then 1-2 run, shoot, boom, that's it. New friendly. Anyway, so I'm gonna leave you guys with the Midnight Kid with some great examples of defending. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Make sure to follow the Midnight Kid on Twitter, links in the description, and subscribe to his channel as well. PESEP, till next time. Ciao for now.
From the kick out, this guy is going to go straight down the middle. He's actually going to win this, and it's going to go out to the wing for him. Now watch where I'm set up here. There's only one place he's going to want to go, and that's going to be central. He can't go wide, because if he goes wide, he's going to have to swing it in by a cross. This guy isn't into crossing. I could just know by playing him already in the first 25 minutes. We're fairly set up there, so he's either going to hit a beautiful thread of the needle through ball, or I'm going to intercept it because I'm perfectly positioned. That's what happens. Now from here you're thinking, right, let's go direct. We've got one man up front, we've got a man in the middle, and these are the two guys that are going to be in play. But look where the blue arrow is here, the blue line. This is where I'm going to pass the ball back. He's not going to expect it. It's an unorthodox pass. It's going to open him up completely and drag him in. And look what it does. It lets me get in through, little through ball again, and it puts me away. There's two men attracted to the ball, and it's a simple touch pass. So I suppose it's just a point of note for tips and tricks is basically that once you're set at the back, an opponent isn't going to rip you apart. If you're going to concede by a stupid ball or a stupid goal or a lack of awareness from the AI or a lack of responsiveness, I mean, there's not much that you can do about that. You know, it is what it is. But if you kind of, you know, play your game possession, you can see here again from this other example, I've got my bank of four set at the back, my two centre backs perfectly positioned. I'm going to keep that area of the pitch locked down because he's playing four men up front. He is going to be attacking very, very heavily, and he is going to be not building that many attacks. Again, you can just see here, I'm set in the middle again. He gives a wayward pass out, and I'm on the attack again. But again, I'm going to just show you one more example of this defending. Look where the line is. Look where my two boys are. There's no ball that can really go through there. You know, I'm perfectly set up there. I've got my banks. My right back comes over. Even though I do a stupid pass out, it's a simple clearance, and that is it.